Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Axe Japan. Thank you for joining me. Yes, I am still alive. Uh, Sorry, it's been so long since I've made a video and put one up. But I've just been so ill. The whole family's been ill. We've been, pretty out of it. Just the past few weeks, really. And just finding the motivation to do stuff has just been really difficult. And yeah, I've just been playing guitar, working on my own stuff. Really, just haven't really had a whole lot of inspiration just to learn stuff. But I have started learning the next BAND-MAID one, so look forward to that. It's coming. But yeah, I'm starting to get back into the swing of things now, and this is just a video that I've been wanting to do for a little while. It's kind of a two-in-one video, so yeah, we'll just get straight into it. So I've just recently been thinking about upgrading my pedal board and sort of redesigning it, changing some stuff, and yeah, just yeah, I guess I've just been getting inspired, mainly by Kanami, just sort of looking at her board. I've been seeing a lot more of her new board recently, and Wave Power just did a video sort of breaking down the sort of updated version, which I haven't really seen since I did the video on the sort of original version. That was a really good video, by the way. So Wave, if you're watching that, if you're watching this, shout out for that one. That was really good. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of maybe pull up a picture of that board and maybe just expand on a few things that Wave was pointing out, and maybe some clearing up some myths. Well, myths, clearing up some stuff, and also telling you what that mystery pedal is, the brown one that has just appeared on the board from out of nowhere. So yeah, let's before we get into designing my board, let's go and take a look at Kanami's board. Okay, so here's Kanami's new board, and there's a few changes from the one that I covered way back a couple of years ago now, I think, that video. So I'm not obviously not going to go over everything again, but I just want to point out some things. Just if some of you have watched Wave's video but haven't seen my original video, just to sort of go over a few of the basic things. This is a switcher, and this does control everything on the board. So it controls the amp and all the pedals. It also controls MIDI stuff. So these pedals here, these effects pedals, I think are all MIDI capable. So this gives you the ability to sort of bring up make changes via MIDI. For example, change values here, delay times and effects within the H9. So some patches could have different effects. Just wanted to clear that up. Other differences are the two drop pedals. This is kind of, yeah, for the, the BAND-MAID have pretty much three tunings, so it makes sense. They have the standard tuning, they have a half step down, they have a full step down. So one of the drop pedals is obviously going to drop it down half a step. The other is going to drop it down a full step. So just depending on what song they need it for, basically. Not sure these ones will be in the loop. She'll probably just step on these when is needed. So that's basically it. The only other difference is these two pedals here. So you'll notice that the OCD's been replaced by this guy here, this mysterious brown pedal, which is an overdrive pedal, and it is this guy, this Vimuram Janray pedal. And you can see by the price, this is a high-end pedal. It's a boutique pedal. Very natural sounding. It sounds great. I had a quick listen to some demos, and it sounds absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, she's obviously swapped out the OCD to try that one out. This pedal here is the ISP Decimator 2, which Wave pointed out. But when I was trying to find this pedal, I was like, what is this pedal? Because it's black. Tried to Google that, and nothing came up. Then I kind of figured out why. And I also noticed that it was written here, like pretty much by hand, like Decimator. And I was like, is this like a homemade like version of a Decimator pedal? Like, did someone just make this for her and just like wrote it on? But then when I actually saw like a picture of the real pedal, I know you know why they've done that. They've actually painted it black because like this is so reflective. It probably catches the light on stage and it probably, probably like ends up going in her eyes and like blinding her because it's so shiny. They've actually painted the thing black, which is nuts, and like just written on it Decimator 2, because all this is the same. It's just it's just this. It's different, and they've just covered it. They've either painted it or they've covered it in black tape, which is, yeah, it works. It's really cool though. But yeah, it kind of threw me off there because I was looking for a black pedal. So I've been watching the head angle versions on the BAND-MAID Prime. There's 4 or 5 of them up now. And by watching these, it's given me a sort of better insight and idea into what each of these switches, because it's just the bottom row. This is her sound. She's got clean, crunch, drive, the heart, tone, and boost and solo. These are her 6 different sounds, different tones for her rig, basically. So yeah, just by watching, it's kind of given me a better idea of what these do. So the clean, I think, is just pretty much just a straight up clean tone from the Mesa Boogie. Nothing too crazy going on here. The crunch, I wouldn't say is actually an actual crunch tone. When you think of crunch, you kind of think of like a kind of like mid gain, like sort of like crunchy AC/DC kind of tone. Nothing crazy over the top. But it's not. This is very much like just a pushed clean tone, just breaking into distortion. So my guess would be that this setting here, this tone, is just this strawberry overdrive pedal on its own, because this is kind of a classic distortion sort of overdrive tone. And I feel that this would be best suited on a clean channel rather than pushing an already distorted channel, which I think is probably the idea behind. It was definitely the idea behind the OCD, so it's probably going to be the same idea with the Jan Ray as well. So I do think that this crunch channel is just this. It's a very light distortion. The drive pedal, I think, is just. I think Wave thought the same. It's just the distortion channel on the Mesa, or Mesa, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, just straight up. Just this is her sort of main distortion sound. So I think that is just the Mesa, possibly with the overdrive on. This might just be on all the time, really. Especially on the higher gain sounds. So that could well be the Mesa plus the overdrive. And then she's got the heart tone, which yeah, it could be a couple of different things. When I saw the 2 hearts, like part of me thought that it just like engaged, just took over Miku's amp, so she was in stereo. And then like just Miku doesn't get to play anything. It just like makes like the sound like stereo, so that's why it sounds like so huge. But I don't think she's that mean to do that. No, I do think that this pretty much turns everything on. So I think it's definitely a combination of the Mesa drive sound, the Mesa distortion sound, with the overdrive, with the Buxom boost. Because the Buxom boost has a lot of tone shaping qualities, like you're able to tighten up the low end. So I think she just gets a really fat, tight tone with the Buxom, and also the compressor. I think that might be when the compressor comes on as well, and that'll just fatten it up even more, make the sound super huge. I don't think, I know Wave was saying about possibly using chorus for this. I don't think so, because I've seen her like go between these, and like this does not change. Like you can't see. I'll get into that in a minute, because I think I know what she uses this for. But this does not change when she goes back and forth between settings. So I don't think she's using chorus to make everything sound big. I think she's using the compressor and the Buxom boost to make the really fat sound. She tends to use this for chorus, for when she's playing in the chorus, like octaves and stuff. And it just gives her a really big wide sound, and it probably does have a bit of delay on as well, just to make it even sort of more epic sounding, I guess. That actually might be one of the main differences between this tone and the drive tone is that there's delay on it, because I noticed that she tends to use it when she's just playing like octaves and stuff, and that would be a good thing to have delay on, really, instead of just playing like chords and things like that. Then we have the boost, and the boost she uses for leads that aren't a solo. So, you know, like the intro to different and like warning and stuff, she uses the boost. And I think most of the time the boost seems to have the octave effect on it when she's playing. So the only pedal that can give her the octave effect is the H9. It's a multi-effects box. Has loads of different effects, and you know, I can't really hear any other effects she uses apart from the octave. So it has to be that. It has to be. If I could ask her any question about the pedal board, it would be like, what are you using this for, and like what songs and stuff. Like, how are you using this? Because it seems crazy just to have this like huge like multi effects box just for like one effect. But yeah, maybe she uses other effects as well on it. But yeah, that's what I've noticed, is that the boost tends to have the octave effect on it, and it probably the Buxom boost on it as well. So it probably is just like a combination, and plus like this overdrive as well. So really it's kind of like the big sound, but it's more for like leads that aren't a solo. And then she has the solo tone, which probably is the same as all this without the octave, but with this EP booster on, just to give her an extra push. Because she's probably not using the Buxom boost so much as a boost. It's more of tone shaping. And then she has the EP booster for an actual proper boost when she's doing solos. So yeah, so that's my take on the 6 different tones that she uses. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you agree? Do you have any other insights into what pedal combinations she might be using for this in this switcher here? But yeah, I said it before in the other video, in the original pedal board video, and Wave was saying it in his video, that it does look like, you know, it looks very complicated from the outside. But when you actually break it down, it's really not, because, you know, when you take away stuff that is just controlling, you know, things like, you know, the switcher is just controlling what tones, the drop pedals, these junction boxes, which is just all for signal routing, the decimator, which is just controlling noise, you know, she's left with actually very few effects, and some of them are just doing the same thing. So, you know, and the tuner and stuff. So, you know, her rig is actually quite basic. It's just, and she's got like, you know, power here, you know, usually all this is hidden. So it's just because it's on the board, it just makes it look crazy, you know. Maybe one day she'll maybe streamline it a bit more. And you know, I don't really know if it's necessary for her to have like all the pedals on stage. She could probably just get away with having the switcher. You know, a lot of people do that. They just have the switcher on and don't bother having the you know, the pedals are all off stage. That might be something we'll see in the future. Who knows? But anyway, let's go over to so basically let's talk about my pedal board and what I'm going to do, and kind of like the inspiration I've taken from this and stuff. So I took some footage of my pedal board just now, so I will roll it. So this is what my pedal board looks like. So I've had this, this is the setup I've had for a while, and it's basic, you know, it's tuner into the drop, into the wah, into the whammy pedal. The whammy pedal I really only use for like the octave effect and like octave up, octave down harmonies and stuff. I very rarely use it for the crazy Tom Morello stuff. Into the Earthquaker Devices Life pedal, which is like a fuzz modeled on a Sun Model T amplifier, which this pedal is a beast. I absolutely love it. I don't tend to use it too much on the channel because the guitar tone doesn't really suit the stuff that I do on the channel. But just playing at home, I have it on all the time. It sounds phenomenal. Then it's the KMA Logan Overdrive. I just use that to, you know, just overdrive my amp distortion tone, my crunch tone, kind of turns it from like mid gain to high gain. It's nice on a clean channel as well, gives it a nice kind of like old school crunchy tone, and then we've got the channel switcher for the amp, the orange amp, rock reverb. Then it goes into the Electro Harmonics Good Vibes pedal, which is a roto vibe, kind of Jimi Hendrix rotating speaker type sound, into a chorus pedal. And then we have the Avalanche Run here, which is the delay and reverb pedal, and that goes into the effects loop of the amp. And all that goes into the orange rock reverb Mark III, into this 4x12 Marshall hand-wired cabinet, which I recently swapped over from using the Boss, and the difference has been kind of astounding. It sounds so much better coming out of the Marshall than it does the Boss Waza cabinet. So that is getting sold, because yeah, there's nothing that beats the Marshall cab, in my opinion. So what we're going to do is what I've done is I've kind of done a mock-up. I've recreated my pedal board in Photoshop, which we'll see here. So I've cut out all these, and it's really cool. I've never done this before, but this is going to be such a cool and fun way to design my pedal board, and make sure everything fits, and get a look at it before it's done. This is going to be a while, by the way, before I do this, because I've chosen some pretty expensive gear. So yeah, we'll see. So let's just start off with things that we can get rid of. So first off, I'm going to get rid of the whammy because it's too big, and I only really use it for, like I said, the harmony of the octave effects. So there's other pedals that can do that. So I feel like that definitely needs to go. It takes up way too much space. I'm also going to get rid of the drop pedal because I don't really use it a whole lot. I thought I would use it. It's quite handy to use for recording, I guess, but I tend to not record anything that's lower than half a step anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Plus, when you're using it sort of in a room setting and not on stage, you can still hear the acoustic strings of your guitar, so it sounds horrible when you hear both that and the drop tone together. I didn't realize that would happen at the time. It's kind of obvious when you think about it, but that's going to go. The tuner's going to go because I'm going to replace it with something else, as you'll see in a minute. The main thing I'm going to take away from Kanami's rig is I really do want a switcher. So I feel like having the switcher is just going to make everything more streamlined, and I'm just going to be way more creative with it, just because I'm always turning on multiple pedals at the same time, and I feel I lose momentum when I have to do it all individually, and I just want to, I have sounds in my head that I just want to be able to access instantly. So that's going to be great. So because we're having the switcher, we don't need the channel switcher for the amp, so that can go. Okay, so this is what we're left with. Okay, so we're going to move this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to bring in the switcher. So the switcher that I chose is the G3 by the Gig Rig. So the Gig Rig, this is the third version of this switcher, and this is definitely one of the best switchers you can get. I'm not going to go into the details of why this is the best, because it can get really technical, and I know that half of you probably don't play guitar and are not interested in all that kind of stuff. But it does everything that Kanami's does. You can basically access all the loops, each pedal will go into their own individual loops, and then you can order them however you want. I think it has 12 loops. You can have 12 pedals in there, and just rearrange them how you want. This is a really intuitive way of setting up, very easy to do. So that's what I like. So we're going to move it down a bit so we get as much room as we can, because there are going to be a lot of cables coming out here, so we need to leave a bit of space here for other pedals. So okay, so we're going to move the wah over here, and we're going to put in a pedal that I've had my eye on for a long time, and this is the Ernie Ball volume and tuner pedal in one, which I've been wanting a volume pedal for the longest time. I do a lot of my tone I control with the volume. Just by rolling the volume down, I clean the distortion up a lot. So it's just something, I really like doing and I'm used to doing. So having a pedal that will do that instead of using the volume on the guitar will make things so much easier, especially with the new Flying V, because the volume control for the bridge pickup is in such an awkward position. Having a pedal will make things much easier. And also with this pedal, you get a numerical value of like where the pedal is, kind of like how much volume you're dropping it by. And then when it's completely off, the tuner kicks in, and it's a really awesome tuner, very bright, very big, very easy to read. And I'm quite tall, so I need glasses, so you need to be able to see that. So yeah, this was a no-brainer. It's a pedal that I wanted for ages, and yeah, I can't wait to get this on the board. It's gonna be awesome. So the wah fits in nicely next to that, and then we have all this space to play with. So I'm also going to get rid of the Dimension C because I have a pedal in mind that I would like to change. And I'm also possibly going to get rid of the Avalanche Run as well, but we'll put the Good Vibes up here for now. That just about fits. I do think I've maybe made these a bit bigger than what they are, so I think there should be room. Okay, so then we can have the Logan and the Life pedal. So the Life pedal needs to stay. The Life pedal and the Jerry Cantrell wah are definitely mainstayers. They definitely need to be there on the board. Okay, so we can put this over here as well. Okay, so like I said, it doesn't really matter on the order of the pedals now because we have the switcher. All the pedals go into their own loops, so it doesn't matter what order you have them in. You choose the order from here. It doesn't really. You don't have to line them up in order that they're going to all chain into, because they're not chaining into each other. They're all going into the switcher. So we're going to add some modulation now. So I love chorus. I love phase. I love flange. And I love tremolo. So there's a pedal that's just come out that does all those things. And it's the UAD Astra, which when I first heard this pedal, I was like, I need this, because like this is feels like it was made for me, because like all the sounds in this are like modeled on vintage gear. And it sounds absolutely incredible. So the Astra for sure definitely needs to be there. And UAD actually made like two other pedals, a delay and a reverb. So I'm thinking I could keep the Avalanche Run, but let's just go crazy and add in the reverb and the delay as well, because why not have like the holy trilogy of these pedals? I've just used up all the room I had. So yeah, so we're gonna get rid of the Avalanche Run because we don't need all that delay and reverb. These should really be the other way around. Oh no, they shouldn't. Sorry, what am I talking about? Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Like I just said, it doesn't really matter of pedal order. Okay, so they look awesome. So compressor, this is another thing that I'm taking away from Kanami's pedal board, is she uses the compressor to give her a much like fatter tone in her her big guitar tone. So I'm all about big guitar tones, so I feel like a compressor will be really helpful for that. Also, like recently doing the like a Carrick spin cover of Mindset, that clean guitar, really funky guitar. A lot of the sound comes from the compressor for that kind of really like spanking clean, like funky sound. You need a compressor to like get all those transients and everything like audible. So yeah, so I think a compressor, you know, it's not the most exciting pedal to buy. So I'm not going to spend a huge amount. I'm not going to like her compression pedal is quite expensive. But the one I've gone for is the Deep 6 by Walrus Audio. So ooh, that kind of fits nicely there. Yeah, or it could go down on its side like there, but then it doesn't really leave much space for other things. Let's just put it here for now. So the Deep 6 compressor, and then the life pedal can go here. And the Logan can go here. Ooh, God, it's a tight squeeze, but this is starting to look awesome. So yeah, so this compressor I think is going to be a great addition. There's a pedal that I really, really do want, and it's the Small Stone by Electro Harmonics, which is a phase shifter. And this is just a really cool sounding phaser. I love the effect. So we're going to see if we can fit it on the board. Can we turn it? Yes, we can. So we'll turn it this way. There might be space for one of those little EP boosters as well. I didn't actually think about that actually at the time, so I didn't make a picture for it. But I've just there is one problem though that we have, and that is my octave effect. So we have no space really for a pedal to do octaves, and my original idea was to put in this Walrus audio luminary pedal. There's literally no space for that. But Electro Harmonics actually recently just announced, literally like yesterday or the day before, this intelligent harmony machine. So I feel like if I needed to, I would get rid of the Small Stone and put this guy in, because this thing, if you haven't seen a video on this thing yet, go check it out, because this thing, like, I need this in my life. So basically what it does is that it will intelligently, so it says, create harmonies for what you're playing. So normally, like when you're playing, like for example, the harmonies on the whammy pedal, they're all just like polyphonic, and they're just not very musical sounding. But this one actually like sounds like it's twin guitars playing, which like is like a pedal that I've kind of wanted ever since I was like 16. So the fact that it exists now, I'm kind of like mind blown. So plus it does the drop thing, so you can actually set it to do drop if you turn the mix all the way up. That was the problem with the whammy as well, is like you could not control the mix of the harmony. So it was actually quite harsh sounding, because it was like it was always really up. So I always wanted to dial it back in the mix. So this actually has a mix knob, so I can do the harmony thing as well. So it does so many things that like I want to be able to do. So it seems like a no-brainer that like I would need this in my life, or like on my board. So that's great. I feel like the fact that if I have been a bit like over generous like with the sizes, like so like if we shrink some stuff down a bit, maybe this is more realistic. I don't know. I feel like there should be more room on this board for this stuff. Yeah, it looks a little bit messy, but I honestly do think that like with the sizes and stuff, you know, we could push some things a bit more down and a bit more up. I think we could get it to fit. I think that would be fine. I just think like the possibilities are pretty endless, and just the inspiration I think is gonna be so much fun to play this and just come up with. I feel like I would write so much stuff around these pedals and using this system. So yeah, that's actually really cool to see it all laid out like that. I think it'd be a pretty awesome like looking board when it's complete. Yeah, hopefully one day we'll make it happen. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I think at the end of the day, what to take away from this, and what I've taken away from Kanami, is that like, and you know, not just her but other players, is like, you know, you need to do what suits you. and you'll see that like none of the pedals on my board are pedals that Kanami has. But I have just taken ideas from herself and applied it to my own style, and for me personally, my own playing, because that's what you have to do. You have to be an individual in your instrument. There's no point really trying to copy someone so much that you just end up, just a clone basically. You want to try and find your own sound and become your own person really. So, and your own musician. So that's definitely what I think she would want in players that have been inspired by her. So that's definitely what I feel like I need to do. I'm really excited to get started on putting it all together. So let me know what you think down in the comments of my choices. If you do, if you might probably have no idea about pedals if you don't play guitar or anything, but I hope you found the stuff about Kanami at the start interesting. And I just the whole process of putting these boards together. I hope you got something out of it anyway. So thank you so much for watching. And yeah, talk to you in the comments and catch you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.